Hello everyone, Minasan konbanwa. The VTubing software VTubeStudio is adding many features and becoming widely used. But did you know that it has an API that lets outside software interact with and control it? Today, we'll look at the abilities of this API and some measures Live2D riggers can take to make it easy to use. The API allows outside plugins and software to communicate with VTubeStudio. To use it, a programmer will need to create a plugin, which can use the API to read Live2D parameters and tracking data from VTubeStudio, as well as to send commands to VTubeStudio. Using that plugin, it's possible to control the avatar using outside software or data, or to control outside software with the actions of the avatar. You can change the color and alpha of individual art meshes, groups of art meshes, or the entire model. You can move, scale, or rotate the model with absolute positioning or relative positioning. You can also use the API to trigger hotkeys, allowing expression changes, animation changes, model movements, and other settings changes. You can also change the model itself using the API, switching models on the fly. You can input your own tracking data, creating new custom parameters, or blending your input with the face tracking system. You can also read face tracking data or Live2D parameter data directly from the model. For avatars that might be used with the VTubeStudio API, there are some things that Live2D riggers can do to make them easier to work with. It's helpful to fill out proper ArtMesh IDs. The API does not use the ArtMesh name, it only identifies the meshes by their ID. Using meaningful and descriptive IDs instead of the default numbers will make it much easier to use API calls that access the art meshes. The user data field can also be used to tag art meshes. If anything has been entered in the user data field, VTubeStudio will treat each word as a separate tag associated with the mesh. API calls that access art meshes can search for all art meshes with a specific tag. With the right user data entries, this can be used to create groups of meshes that can easily be accessed or changed all at once. The API can also be used to change the colors of art meshes. However, it can also only make meshes darker, since it functions by subtracting color. If a mesh is intended to be used with this color changing function, it should start as a bright color. Dark colored meshes do not work very well with the color changing function. This has been an introduction to the VTubeStudio API. There's a lot you can do with it, so I hope that you give it a try and experiment with it. There are many amazing things it can do. But for now, have a good night. Oyasumi.